now. And without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Hakeem and Rarmani, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about themselves, introduce themselves. They are Rotherham United first team players. I'm sure you've seen them on Sky Sports News and at the stadium if you attend games. So I'll hand over to Hakeem first to introduce himself, and then we'll come back to you guys to ask Hakeem and Rarmani some questions. So over to you, Hakeem.
Cheers, Sam. Well, hi guys. Yeah, so my name's Hakeem Odoffin. I play for Rotherham United. I'm a midfielder. I joined the club in the summer, and yeah. So if there's any questions you have for me, fire away.
Perfect. Thanks, Hakeem. Go on, Rarmani. I was just handing over to you, buddy.
Cheers. Hi guys. My name's Rarmani Edmonds-Green, known as Reg. I joined the club in the summer, obviously play for Rotherham, and I'm a centre-back. So any questions, as Hack said, fire away.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Okay, so since I'm trying to think who was the first one on the call, I think it was Edward was the first person I see. So Edward, have you got any questions that you'd like to ask Hakeem, Rarmani, or myself or Jemima?
Do you think when you played Hull City in 2020, did you think they were cheating?
What's that, buddy?
When they played in 2020 against Hull City at the start of the year, it were either 2020 or 21, I can't remember. They won something like 6-4, I think.
Right.
Did you think they were cheating?
I can't remember that game, so I'll have to hand over to you guys.
Who did they play? When they played Rotherham?
Yeah, Hull City versus Rotherham.
No, that wasn't 21. That must have been last year. 2 years ago, I think. Because I wasn't there.
I don't remember that game as well.
I don't think Rarmani was there either.
No, because we just came in the summer, so.
Sorry, Edward. I'll have a think of another one, mate, and I'll check back for you. Clayton, have you got a question ready?
Yeah, it's for Hakeem. What were your feelings when you scored that goal at the Donny match?
Oh yeah, it was a bit bittersweet. It's a good question. Because it got given as an own goal because obviously it came off the crossbar, didn't it? And then hit the keeper. But I was happy with the strike, because it's something you practice, striking the ball like that. So I was happy it ended up being a goal, and we ended up winning the game as well. And it's done as well in the cup as well because we ended up in the semi-finals. So I was definitely happy, but I was a bit annoyed it didn't get given as my goal, I'll be honest with you. But we move.
Good question, Clayton. Thank you for that, buddy. Chelsea, can you hear us?
I think she's having trouble joining.
Yeah. I think a few people have just sort of dropped in and out. Jemima, while we're waiting for the young ones to sort of rejoin, have you got any questions for Hakeem or Rarmani?
Yeah, I do. So at 64 Million Artists, we're really interested in creativity and what it means to different people. And we believe that sports and football is a really creative act because it means that you have to do a lot of, well, first of all, you're moving your body loads. You have to think in advance. You've got to predict what other people are going to do. It's like you're playing a game, and playing games is always creative. And I just wondered what you thought, whether you agree with me, whether you kind of, just any kind of thoughts you have about being creative when you're playing. Do you find that when you're feeling creative, you play better? And to kind of boil that into one question, I guess my question is, do you think football is a creative act?
I do, to be fair, because obviously you create pictures in your head that probably will happen in the game before the game, like before you even play the game. So you're imagining what will happen. So, and to be fair, you have to create pictures just before before you receive the ball. know what pass to play or where your next touch is going to go. So I do think it's creative, to be fair.
Yeah, because you're like visioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. What about you, Hakeem?
Yeah, like Rarmani said, I agree completely. It's there's a lot of that goes into a game. Like Rarmani said, like before a game as well. There's a lot of visualization, which I can imagine sparks up the creative side of your head. And also, I feel like when you're having the most fun on the football pitch is when you're probably being your most creative. You know, you kind of go into a flow state, and it kind of seems that everything's going right. And that's probably when you start doing things that you maybe wouldn't have done. So you might start being a little bit more creative, a bit more expressive when you're having a bit more fun. So I think it kind of gels in, you know, into that.
Yeah.
And even defensively for Rarmani, someone who's a CB, you're picturing what could happen in terms of the worst case scenario. You know, if you're expecting a player to miss it, or this player is going to make this certain run, you have to also almost anticipate it, you know. So you're thinking of all these different scenarios that could happen in your head, and there's only really one outcome that ends up happening, but you're preparing yourself for that. So yeah, it's a lot of creativity that goes into it.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, I agree with you as well about the fun thing and like going into a state of flow. I think that's when like our best work and experiences happen, isn't it? And your work happens to be football, and I think you can kind of apply that to all sorts of different sports and like hobbies and work. Yeah, it's really interesting. Thank you.
It's a great question, Jemima. Edward, before you get you to ask your next question, do you think the manager has to be creative in what he does for the team?
It's just to us.
Sometimes I think it should, if things are going a bit wrong, so say you've got your wingers, aren't you?
Yeah.
If things are going bad a bit, so like they're going down on your sides and the side they're going on, you're so say they're going on right wing for you.
Yeah.
And your right winger ain't too good at defence. You could swap them round and do something, and tactically it'll help them out.
Great answer.
Not as many balls are going to get through.
So you think that the manager can be sort of adaptive and creative on the spot through the game?
Yeah.
Nice, good answer. What about yourself, Clayton? Do you think the manager can be creative, or what other sort of staff or players do you think could be creative on a football pitch?
Yeah, I do think the manager can be creative. So is the coach who does training with them, and which is Richie Barker, and helps them build the creativity and their game style.
Oh, nice. So can I sort of extend that out to Hakeem and Rarmani? So what kind of ways do you think that, obviously you've trained with different managers, different clubs, different styles of play. So what kind of ways do you think that the Rotherham United club and staff and backroom staff sort of are creative with you? Are they things that sort of like when you joined sort of stuck out in your head as something that you'd not sort of experienced before, or that was sort of quite a creative thing to take on as a player?
I think it's kind of, so when you come as a player, obviously whatever manager brings you into whatever club, they've seen you and they've seen the set of skills you have, and then obviously they also have their ethos and what they're trying to the game plan they have for the team, and so then it's kind of mixing that together and then trying to show you what they think you can improve on and all of that. And I think that kind of just all meshes into this whole creative side of finding out what you're good at, what you're not so good at, becoming better at what you're already good at, and getting better at what you're not good at. And so yeah, I feel like with the manager, it's kind of on him as well as you to be as outspoken and be as talkative as they can about finding out what can benefit the team and what can benefit you, and make the team better and kind of make you better, and yeah, that kind of all just kind of meshes together to this creative process throughout the season of you both trying to get towards that goal, I guess, of which is making the team better.
Yeah, I agree with Hacks, to be fair. When he said the manager has to create situations to help you improve. And obviously you need to help yourself so you can have conversations with him to put on sessions that can help you improve and the team. Obviously, he has a style of play that he wants to play, and he has watched you before from a different club. So he knows what you can do and what you can bring to the team. So it's just creating that in environment or sessions to help you produce what you can produce for the team.
Nice, great answers, guys. Appreciate it. Right, let's go back to Edward. Have you got another question, buddy, that you'd like to ask Hakeem or Rarmani?
A question for Rarmani. Do you ever feel like you want to move up on the pitch, so like going to like midfield or striker?
Maybe when I was younger, but I think right now I've played this position for so many years. I'm obviously still learning every day how to obviously, hopefully one day be one of the best centre halves in the world or in the league. So I think I'm happy with my position right now. But when I was younger, I did used to play midfield and striker, to be fair. So you never know, innit? Maybe one day I might move up there.
Good answer. Do you ever get told off, Rarmani? Do you ever, if you like go a little bit too far, does the manager ever scream at you to get back?
To be fair, no, he doesn't. He gives us the license to go forward as obviously in a back three to go and express ourselves, get forward. But obviously you're a defender first, so just make sure that if the ball comes out, you look up shop and make sure.
Perfect. Thank you for that, mate. And thank you. That was a good question, that, Edward. Chelsea, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Finally. I'm glad you've managed to get on. Have you got a question for Hakeem or Rarmani?
No, I don't think.
You don't think? I tell you what, I'll go to Clayton and have a little think of any question you could ask them about football. It could be about what they do outside of football. Have they got any hobbies? How can they be creative outside of football? Or have a little think and we'll come back to you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Perfect. All right, Clayton, have you got a question for Hakeem or Rarmani?
Yeah, what is your dream club to play for, or your dream club to play for when you were a kid?
Don't worry, guys. Warney won't see this, so you don't have to say Rotherham.
Well, I grew up a Man United fan. So my mum was born and raised in Manchester, and so she brought me up as a United fan. So obviously, her being Mancunian, that's always been her dream as well as mine. So yeah, and the more you get into football, it's kind of crazy. With football, it's I don't know. Whenever you're at a club and you feel the love, you feel the community, you can end up falling in love with that club. So I definitely think with a lot of players that have been brought up a certain supporting a certain club, you'll see them move to a club, and it seems like they've supported the club their whole life because of the ethos or just that family feel. But yeah, for me, it was Manchester United.
Nice.
Mine is probably Arsenal. Obviously, growing up in London, obviously my dad was a big Arsenal fan, so yeah, Arsenal's probably the team for me.
Nice. What about yourself, Clayton? Who would you like to play for?
Probably Liverpool or something like that.
Nice. Edward, what about yourself?
I don't know. I hope to play for United one day, but after that, I'm not really too sure about.
All right, okay. Team. Fair. What about yourself, Chelsea? Have you got a favourite team that you'd like to play for one day?
Not just because my name's Chelsea, but I've always wanted to play for Chelsea. And
fair.
My mum said maybe in a few years I can go and
that's
through
amazing.
trials and stuff with it.
Oh, well, good luck for it. And if there's anything we can do to help you with that, you can just reach out. Jemima, I've never really asked you. Are you a big football fan, or do you have allegiance to a team?
My dad's a Spurs fan, so sorry, Rarmani, that was but yeah, Spurs.
Really did have like a widespread there, didn't we? United, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea. Brilliant. Going back to you, Chelsea, have you thought of a question that you'd like to ask the guys yet?
Yeah, have you always wanted to be footballers, or was there other things when you was younger that you wanted to do?
Oh, good question.
So me personally, I started football quite early. So since I can remember, it's kind of always been the thing I've almost worked towards. Obviously, it started out just Sunday league and enjoying it, and you're just doing it for the fun. So I wasn't really thinking about what I wanted to do when I was older. But when I was around 11, and then you start getting into the academy circuit, it's kind of like you're training for a certain purpose, But even at that age, you're still doing it for the love of the game, and it's kind of just a hobby. So you don't really think of it as work or as you're working towards this end goal. But yeah, when I was a kid, it was mainly just a football, I'll be honest. So whenever we did those little tasks in school, that was always what I was writing on my papers.
To be fair, it's the same with me as well. I started football quite young. And I've just been playing ever since, really. I was the same as Hacks, as like playing Sunday league, just loving the game. And then obviously you get to a certain age and you start playing academy setups, but you're still doing it because you love the game. You never think it's going to be a job. You always think it's going to be just playing for fun. But obviously you still always have that love of the game, even though it's a job. So I'm just grateful that I could continue and hopefully keep going on my dream and see where it takes me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, guys. Jemima, have you got another question for the lads?
What's your favourite memory playing football in your career?
Great question.
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, how long have you guys been playing now? What? I mean, you say you've been from a young age, so what, 10, 15 years?
So Sunday league I started when I was around 8. But I was playing football in school and that, obviously, so it's way younger. But I wasn't in the team, I think, until I was around 8. And then obviously I got into the academy circuit when I was around 11. So that was kind of when it was like more professional and that. But yeah, I'd say around 8 is when I first joined my first team.
Me too, as well. To be fair, I used to play a year up because they didn't have a team in my age group. So I was playing. I think I was 8, but I was playing under 9s. So yeah. But my best memory so far playing football, I think it's got to be getting promoted with Swindon.
All right, nice.
Yeah, this was, I think, 2 years ago now. Nothing beats that so far. So hopefully we can do it again this year. So
yeah, definitely.
More memories, but that's my best one so far.
What about yourself, Hakeem?
Best moment. It's weird. There's nothing crazy that like stands out. I have like loads of just like little moments. Most of the time, it's just anytime I get a new contract or I get a sign for a new club, and then being able to see how it is for like my mum, because that with that whole football thing, growing up, she was always the one taking me everywhere, doing all of this. So getting that first professional contract and being able to show her it, that was probably my proudest moment. kind of letting her know that like all the work she's done for me it paid off in a certain way, and hopefully I can keep making her proud, you know. So.
Nice. Love that answer. Thank you, guys. Brad, you are back with 5 minutes to spare, young man. Have you got a question for Rarmani and Hakeem?
Both of them, actually.
Go on then.
Do you think Rotherham will blow up
Ooh.
the championship?
I definitely do. Definitely. It's been a good season so far, and we know we can carry it on, if not do even more towards the end of the season. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Nice. So with 5 minutes left, guys, I would just like to sort of cover it up and just ask you one final question, if that's okay. So what we do at Rotherham United is all about creating opportunities for young people to nurture potential, which means giving them opportunities like this to be inspired and to look up at you guys like every single young person in Rotherham does. So what sort of inspirational message or moment or sort of catchphrase or slogan have you got that you can sort of put out into the world in the hope that it inspires one of these individuals to be creative, challenge themselves, to take that next step and nurture that potential that we all have as individuals? It's a big question. I apologize, guys.
I'll probably say always follow your dreams. When people tell you no on the way, it doesn't mean definitely no. It just means you just gotta go harder. Go hard at what you're doing, and if you love what you do, hopefully one day it can work out for you. But always follow your dreams and make sure you just work hard at what you want to do, and just make sure you're enjoying it as well at the same time. Because if you ain't enjoying it as well, you're not gonna have the love there and enjoy it as much.
Great answer. Thank you, Woody.
I'll double down on what Rarmani said, you know, because I think that's massive, you know, that not giving up, and that not if it, like you said, if it's something that you love to do, not taking no for an answer, you know, finding different routes to get to that same end goal, and I just say that you know, if one door closes, another one opens, that kind of phrase, or keep pushing, you know. And sometimes the work you put into, let's say, one goal, you can end up finding a love or a passion for something else, you know. But just keep moving. I would say don't sit still or wait for something to happen, because, you know, usually by sitting still and waiting, you're letting time pass you, you know, you're stagnating. So just keep moving forward with whatever it is you want to do. Keep working hard towards it, and you'll find happiness in the end through that hard work, I think.
Thank you so much, guys. They're both great answers. Just as we're finishing off, guys, we've got 2 minutes left before the Zoom meeting ends. I just want to touch again on what myself and Jemima have been working on throughout January, which is the January challenge, giving you opportunities to do something a little bit different. Our challenge throughout January has been to perform a random act of kindness. So for an example, us at Rotherham United, we've been working closely with a group of refugees that are living in a hotel, and unfortunately through lockdown, they've not had the ability to go out and explore their environment as much as they'd have liked. So what we've done with them is we've supplied them over the past 6 months, a year that we've been working with them. We've supported them with sort of learning material. We've supported them with clothes. We've supported them with headphones so they can listen to music in the hotels. We've picked them up and took them down to our facilities and played football with them. And we sort of give them free tickets to the game. So this is all stuff that's quite big for us, but it's about thinking for you guys, what can you do as young people to make someone's day? It could be walking a dog, it could be picking up some litter, it could be supporting a friend through school, it could be checking in with someone, it could be smiling to a stranger, it could be giving a homeless person the 10p you've got in your pocket as you walk out the shop. So just have a think over the next January or this January, sorry, anything you can do to give a random act of kindness and make someone's day. And just before time runs out, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Hakeem and Rarmani. And I'd also like to say a big thank you to Jemima for taking the time out to work with us at Rotherham United, and also for you guys with your great questions. I think we've got time for a photo, so I'm going to do a quick screenshot. So if you'd just like to smile, I will count in 3, 2, 1. That's it. We've got everyone's mugshots now. We're sorted. It's going to run out anytime soon, guys. So I'd just like to say a big thank you again. And we'll see you all soon, either at a session or the next player hangout. Thank you all very much, guys. Have a good evening.
Perfect. Thank you guys for having
See
us.
you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks so
Take
much.
care.
Nice
Bye-bye.
to meet you. Bye.
Nice to meet you.